It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. It's Working Women Wednesdays here on That Business Show. So here in just a moment, we're going to be talking with two professional women from the Tampa Bay region. We're talking with County Commissioner Yvonne Fry. She's with the Florida and Hillsborough Commissions on the Status of Women. And also Roshni Hannon with the Indo-U.S. Chamber and Mad Bear Productions here in just a little bit on video storytelling. And so we've got a great show. This feature runs every Wednesdays here on That Business Show. So be sure to tune in every Wednesdays at 8 a.m. for Working Women Wednesdays. And also, you'll find this show on here every weekday, actually, on 1250 WHNZ at 8 a.m. So I invite you to please tune in, as this show is all about the business owners and the entrepreneurs that are really fueling the Tampa Bay community right now. There's a lot of exciting things going on in the community, and I just I want to be a part of it and get the people's stories out. And this show is all about them. And you know, I'm a big news junkie, and I was just, frustrated with all the negativity in the news and all the talking heads and the professional complainers, as I always call them. And, I decided to do a show about what's right with our community, and that's what That Business Show is all about. It's about, the business owners and the entrepreneurs. And if you're listening to my show and you've got a business that you're looking to grow and promote on the airwaves, I want to hear from you. Please send me an email, jamie@tampabayradio.com. Give me your pitch. I want to hear from you. There's no charge to come in here, so don't let that stop you. Shoot me a quick email. Again, jamie@tampabayradio.com. Tell me what it is that you're doing, and I'll probably get you in here. I want to hear from you, so please reach out to me. Also, learn more about the show over at my website, tampabayradio.com, and you can also catch past shows of this show over on that website as well. Also, you can find me on all the social networking sites, plus iTunes. Just search for That Business Show. All the podcasts are placed up on there, and the shows are streamed live on the internet. You can find the live stream over at tampabayradio.com, as well as webeamtv.com, and also the past shows are on my YouTube channel as well. Just search for myself, Jamie Meloni. Got the lovely co-host Stella Giudicelli in studio with me today. Stella, how are you doing today?
I am excellent, thank you. I'm very happy to be on the show. We have excellent guests today, so I wanted to be here, and I believe Jessica is on the phone with us.
Yes, absolutely. And let's go ahead and introduce Jessica Rivelli, who is the sponsor of this segment here every Wednesdays. Again, she is the founder and CEO of Working Women of Tampa Bay. Jessica, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks, Jamie and Stella. Thanks for having me this morning.
Did you have a crazy night last night, being St. Patrick's Day, or are you doing okay this morning?
No, it was a little quiet night, I would say, for sure. In fact, we celebrated in a most un-Irish way. I'm actually a good chunk Irish, but instead we visited Ricky P's, which is New Orleans food over in St. Pete, which is one of our members, and Lisa and Ricky P are great folks. And so we chose to eat New Orleans food on St. Patrick's Day. Don't tell my family that, because I'm sure I would get some fuss over it, but wanted to avoid the crowds and support a fellow working women last night, so that's where I ate.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting old. I went out to have some drinks around 4 o'clock and went home, and then I fell asleep right on the couch. So I just don't have that party mentality anymore. So, not like the days of old when I would stay out, through half the night and everything. But, we're older now, and we got to be responsible, I guess.
Yeah, I was at work, so I was at the office.
You're always at work, Stella. I know. I mean, every time you work more than me. I don't understand it. So, but So, Jessica, tell me a little bit more about the guests we got today and what's been going on with Working Women.
Yeah, the story that came out in the Business Journal yesterday, very interesting story about equal pay, which I know Yvonne's going to mention some of the stuff that they're doing locally and statewide on that, but it was good news and bad news for working women in Florida yesterday in this Business Journal report. The International Women Policy and Research Center had created a 55-page report, pretty lengthy reading, but very interesting, about the pay gap between women and men. And Florida ranked really well in some ways and not so well in others. We're actually ranked 5 for the gap itself, so 85% to 85 cents on a dollar for every dollar that a man makes.
Right.
Which that's fantastic news. And then the other as far as being ranked higher than, these other, 45 states. And then also it showed that the wage gap, that Florida will actually close the wage gap faster than any other state at the rate that we're currently closing the gap. But that number, that date is 2038, which is hard to even think that far.
Right, most of us be in retirement by then, yeah. All right.
Exactly. So it's good news for the millennials that are working and, getting, climbing the corporate ladder and doing everything to improve in their jobs, but it's not necessarily great for current. But the fact that Florida is leading the way when it comes to closing that gap is great news. Where we fell down is in average or medium income, which is $34,000, or medium salary, I should say, and then also in the amount of women that are employed in management and professional jobs. And I'm sure that there will be a lot of conversation about why is that, why in the state of Florida. I'm sure it has something to do with a little bit of our older workforce as well. But the good news is that we're ranked 5, and now we're closing the gap even more. But it will be 20 plus years before we close the gap officially. So very interesting article in the Tampa Bay Business Journal.
Well, great information. And, of course, your group, Working Women of Tampa Bay, very much on the front lines of that issue. And how can women get involved in your organization?
Yeah, so what can we do, right, to close the gap even more? I think it's, as women, we need to continue to develop as professionals, go into entrepreneurship, which is what your show is all about. And that's what Working Women mission is to be able to continue to give professional development, workshops, classes, and then just support. So if a woman is hoping to, do better at work, climb the corporate ladder, or are they jumping into entrepreneurship and they need the resources and the skills to be a better business owner, that's where Working Women comes in. We do so many different events all month long that are geared toward women who are trying to develop in their profession or trying to build a business. Super easy to get involved. Our website, Working Women of Tampa Bay, and you can click on the events and see all the different events. You don't have to be a member to go to any of the events. So we really will welcome, all working women and women entrepreneurs to come out and get involved.
Jessica,
we can provide them resources,
Could you tell us what events you have upcoming so that listeners can see what you're organizing?
Yeah, well, we just had International Women's Day, which I've talked about before, which we had 250 women, and we were promoting that make it happen spirit that comes with being a working woman. And then coming up, we have Driven to Succeed as our one of our workshop series, and that's all going to be about building your business. The one coming up in April is on how to generate leads, how to work a customer through this the funnel as a sales funnel, and then how to close a sale. So that's one idea of, or one workshop that we're doing. And then the other stuff we're working on is a lot of social media and marketing workshops. So we actually do 3 breakfasts a month in different parts of Tampa Bay, and they always focus on how a business owner can be on the cutting edge of whatever's going on from a marketing perspective. So SEO, social media. We do a lot with marketing because that seems to be a very hot topic among our entrepreneurs who are trying to grow their business.
Well, Jessica, thank you very much for what you're doing for our community. You've got a great group, and I greatly appreciate the partnership here in this show each and every Wednesdays here on Working Women Wednesdays.
You're welcome. Yvonne and Roshni are going to be awesome, and you're going to learn a lot. And I will talk to you guys next Wednesday.
All right. Thanks, Jessica. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, great conversation there with Jessica Rivelli, founder and CEO of Working Women of Tampa Bay, and also sponsor of every Wednesdays here on That Business Show, the Working Women's feature. And let's go and bring on our first guest. Commissioner Yvonne Fry is a community activist and advocate for women's and children's issues. She chairs the Florida and Hillsborough Commissions on the status of women and is the past chair of Spring of Tampa Bay's Board of Directors. Yvonne, welcome to the show today.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell me a little bit more about your story before we get into the commission. see that you're a native Floridian, a farmer's daughter. You got a great story of how you got involved in community involvement. Tell me that story.
Well, I'm a Plant City girl, so y'all might have to listen slow this morning. No, I am a farmer's daughter. My parents were strawberry farmers and also had 60,000 chickens that picked eggs every day.
Oh, wow.
So yes, my agricultural roots are very, very much a part of my life. But I am based out in Plant City, and I love my community and work, and I've got my business pursuits, but I also love the community service that I do.
Right.
So I've got 2 businesses. I'll tell you a little bit about that real quick, and we'll move on to some of the other things.
Go right ahead.
I've got a telecommunications consulting company called Lines of Communication. Started that when my son was a baby. He's 16 now, so the business has grown just as he has.
What does that focus on?
Well, we do telecommunications management and consulting. We do a lot in the government sector, a lot of large business and so on. We go in and find savings, find efficiencies, and then on the back end of that do management. So become an outsourced telecommunications department for a company to do procurement, trouble tickets, move ad change delete orders, and so on.
Okay.
Yeah. The other side, I always joke that I get to use both sides of my brain. My other company is Fry Entertainment that holds several different companies. We have a talent agency. We do production work. We produce live stage shows, PSAs, commercials, film, all sorts of things. So I get to use the creative side as well as the numbers side. But I enjoy it all. I say I have adult ADD. And
right. I think a lot of us do, so you're not alone.
Yes. So.
All right, so now you're chair of the Florida and Hillsborough County Commissions on the Status of Women. What is that commission is about? Tell me about your role in that organization.
The Commission on the Status of Women, as there's local commissions throughout the state, like the Hillsborough one, that reports to and advises the Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners on issues affecting the status of women in our county. The Florida one is the same. We report to the Cabinet and the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate on the Florida level. So very similar work, just statewide versus the more localized. And I was originally appointed to the Hillsborough Commission by County Commissioner Al Higginbotham. I didn't necessarily have a history of working on women's issues. I mean, I did, but I didn't. It didn't connect with me to understand what the potential was with the commission until I got there, and it's been amazing. The Hillsborough Commission is made up of political appointees from each of the county commissioners, as well as there's organizational appointees like the Spring of Tampa Bay, which is the domestic violence shelter, which is such an issue for women. 1 in 4 women will be affected by domestic violence. So their voice, for instance, is really important to make sure that we're covering issues and so on. And in Hillsborough, I'll kind of break it up of the 2 different commissions of what our work involves. But in Hillsborough, we divided into 2 main events. One is the Hillsborough Women's Hall of Fame that we started several years ago, and May 8th this year at the Tampa Convention Center is our next Hillsborough Hall of Fame. And this is an opportunity to really recognize the legacy, lifetimes of legacy of women that have blazed the trails in Hillsborough County. And it's always such an educational and inspirational event to learn, and I say too, we get a kick in the ass. I mean, I'm not allowed to say that.
Don't worry, that's fine.
Did you bleep me out? We get a kick in the butt on that one. Sorry, guys.
Not a problem. If anything don't like Stephen will dump it in the back. So no, you're fine.
Good deal.
Go ahead and hold that point though. I got to take a quick break here, but coming back from the break, we'll talk a little bit more with Yvonne Fry. She is the chairman of the Hillsborough and Florida Commissions on the status of women, and you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit AccessReverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
She didn't just visit the sick and poor. She moved in with them because they needed help. Mother Teresa couldn't do it all, but she gave her all. Compassion. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
Still seeing a big problem in Zephyr Hills. 301 Gall Boulevard shut down in both directions south of Chansey Road because of a serious crash. Use Morris Bridge or Paul Buckman Highway instead. Still power lines down causing delays on Bush Boulevard eastbound at 46th Street. 2 right lanes are blocked. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamston, Udelwick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
Partly cloudy and warm, high 82. Mostly clear tonight, low 67. Tomorrow, a 10% rain chance, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Find this show on each and every weekday at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. And also, you can learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. And this today is Working Women Wednesday, so we're talking with Yvonne Fry of the Hillsborough and Florida Commissions here on the status of women. And Stella, you had a great question there. You talked with Yvonne there prior to the break.
Absolutely. You mentioned that you're working on issues affecting women, so I'd like to know what kind of issues.
In Hillsborough, every year we choose a topic that is timely and so on. We've covered women's veterans issues. We've worked on sex trafficking, which really we helped bring to the mainstream.
Is this happening in Tampa?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, wow, that's terrible.
That's a whole nother show that I will be happy to bring in some experts on that. It is amazing. We actually, that's one of the things we lead the nation in that we'd like to not be leading the nation. And there's been a lot of work over the past
Making
couple
a note,
years.
I make sure you're going to be invited back for that.
Yes.
Because I can be a little, very involved in issues like that. So,
yes.
Okay.
We've worked on domestic violence, empowering women to financial freedom. And this year for 2015, our initiative is around women's health. And for the first time, we've brought together an advisory board of community leaders, including from USF, Tampa General, St. Joe's, the Tampa Bay Healthcare Collaborative, and so on, to help advise us of really how can we make the biggest impact. Because you think about women's health, it's such a big topic. We're looking to really create a shift as we've done on these other topics. And so we're digging in on that issue right now here in Hillsborough.
So what kind of health issues, or what are you focusing on any specific points of women's health issues?
We haven't decided all that yet.
Okay.
What we're looking to do, like I said, is to convene those experts and look at where the gaps are, where's the strongest opportunities, and then leverage our platform and what we're able to do in the community.
And then so that's the great thing, is just not like a conversation at the national level, and the time that eventually affects the community is pretty slow, because you hear and it's about the community. I would think that anything that you discuss about actually have a very quick and direct impact on us, right?
Yes. And Hillsborough really has been a leader on women's issues. We've got the chair of the county commission right now is a woman, Sandy Merman, who's been a big champion as well and supports our work, as do all the rest of the commissioners for sure. But whenever we worked on domestic violence, we took it from a different perspective of that it's a man's issue, not just a woman's issue, and that culturally men have to change their own conversations and their perspective on things, of their responsibility in that equation, and developed our logo on that was Man Up, and developed a lot of materials and working, research and so on that we've shared across the country from here in Hillsborough. Whenever we did the sex trafficking, we also, one of the things we identified in that was branding and awareness and so on, and worked with the Junior League and Add To campaign and came up with a whole branding and awareness thing that's gone and taken great traction. We've also developed a PSA with Hillsborough County Television that's now used throughout all the schools in Florida. To high schoolers are required to see this in the curriculum around it, to learn about what this is, the warning signs, how to protect yourself and other kids and stuff. So, it's neat to see the impacts that can happen from starting locally to really affect your local community, but it translates across the state. It really does. It translates across the nation.
How do you do that? How do you network with the other, counties and states?
Well, there's the Florida Commission on the Status of Women is, we stay very connected with the other local commissions throughout our state, and there's also a National Commission on the Status of Women. We hosted the National Convention here last summer in the Bay Area, and it was amazing to come together, and we got to develop, the Florida Commission as host got to develop a lot of the content for that, and we really wanted to drive a lot of the issue work, and it was amazing to come together with other states and what they're doing and their initiatives and so on and share. So we stay very connected on that.
It's great. I've never realized that there was something like that happening, at our level and connecting around the U.S. to change.
And that's because we got too much negative news out there. We got to have more positive spin on things out there, and that's what I'm, here on the air to do. Bring out the, what's right with the community.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about Women's Day at the Capitol and the Women's Hall of Fame, and also there's Equity Pay Day coming up. So elaborate for us on these programs a little bit more.
Well, and I want to take a minute and just give a shout out to Jessica Rivelli with Working Women of Tampa Bay, because her vision of what's possible for women on an individual and a collective basis is coming to reality, and it is amazing. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And I say that this isn't the age of women, it's not the year of women, it is the age of women, because this is a movement, a growth of action and impact that is going to transcend a certain time frame. It's going to continue on. And Jessica, for our community, we're so thankful for the impacts that she's having here. Next week on Tuesday is Women's Day at the Capitol. We've got a very robust agenda. We do an annual report every year for the Florida Commission, and this year we did it very different. We went and held conversations throughout the state with women's groups, women individuals, anybody that wanted to come. We had young women, older women, everything in between, and listened. We had a standardized program to take through, but it was interesting that across the state the same topics kept coming up: the economics, housing, job opportunities, and so on. And we took those topics and built the agenda for Women's Day at the Capitol next week around those, to bring in the industry experts in those and so on. For instance, Rita Lohman with C1 Bank is going to come and talk about economic issues affecting women from several different perspectives. So next Tuesday is a big day in Tallahassee. We've got the Florida Women's Hall of Fame that night as well, and Tampa's Mary Lee Ferrier is one of the winners in that. If you're ever in the Capitol, on the plaza level, there's a permanent display of all the pictures and history of each of the Hall of Fame winners for Florida for the Women's Hall of Fame. So be sure and check that out in the Capitol.
How does a woman end up in Hall of Fame?
We open nominations. Every year we get close to 100. A committee from within the Florida Commission on the Status of Women narrows down to 20 and then to 10, and then those 10 names go to the governor, and the governor chooses the top 3. And the cabinet comes and participates in that event, and it's a really beautiful event, and it memorializes the lives and legacies of those women.
And how do people get involved? Can anybody attend these events?
Yes.
Where can they get more information on that?
You can email me for a variety of all of these different things of how to plug in. Instead of giving you all different websites and so on, yfry@yvonnefry.com.
That's easy. yfry@yvonnefry.com.
Yes.
Oh, that's easy enough
so
to remember.
email me and I'll point you in the right direction.
No.
You asked, and Jessica had talked about Pay Equity Day.
We'll cover that after the break. I'll give you a few more minutes to talk about that here coming up back from the break. But if you're just tuning in, we've been talking with Yvonne Fry of the Florida and Hillsborough Commissions on the status of women here on Working Women Wednesdays on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. We'll be back in a moment.
Get it. Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Some cases actually litigating cases involving some of these drugs you may be currently taking or have taken in the past, and likewise certain medical devices. I invite you to visit forthepeople.com now and from time to time to educate yourself and hopefully protect you and your family. This site was built for you, the consumer. And remember this, I'm not just a lawyer, I'm your lawyer. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Offices, Tampa.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. With one phone call, you'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information. It's a free service, so call now.
Call now, 800-908-0586, 800-908-0586.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. Join Unbound in seeing that every child has a chance to complete their education. Unlock the greatest natural resource, the power of an educated child to change the world. Sponsor a child at unbound.org.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
In Zephyr Hills, 301 Gall Boulevard still shut down in both directions south of Chancey Road because of an earlier crash. Use Morris Bridge or Paul Buckman Highway instead. Very heavy traffic still on I-75 northbound from the Selman to State Road 60. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamston, Udelwick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
1250 winds, Weather Center forecast. We'll see a high today in the lower to mid 80s, sunshine with a few scattered clouds, lows into the upper 60s. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business here on this Working Women Wednesdays feature on That Business Show. This is on every Wednesdays here at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ. Also, you'll find this show on weekdays at 8 a.m., so please mark your calendars for that each and every morning, as this show is all about talking to the business owners and entrepreneurs, making a difference in our community. Also, learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. We were talking with Yvonne Fry, Commissioner of with the Florida and Hillsborough County Commission on the status of women, and before the break we were hitting a point I want you to cover on Equity Pay Day. So tell us about this.
April 14th this year is the day that marks how long a woman has to work in order to make the same amount as man that year. So to catch up, and there's so many stats around this, and you know, lots of different opinions. One estimate was that college-educated women working full-time earn more than $500,000 less than their male peers over the course of a lifetime. And you think about how that affects retirement. It just, the economic impact of that is tremendous. And we believe that fair pay strengthens the security of families and eases the future retirement costs while enhancing the American economy, which all of that is sound, solid, business. What our goal is with this, and we're working towards an event on April 14th, that would be a combination of the Florida Commission, the Hillsborough Commission on the Status of Women, and some other groups that we're working through partnerships with right now to speak in favor of this, is that it needs to be a conversation in every company. It needs to be that this becomes the standard. There isn't that disparity anymore. And as Jessica had talked about, the rate that it's going to take, we don't want to wait on that. And we rank number 5. I don't want us to get to number 1. I want us to get to equal.
Right.
And so that's what we're doing. This isn't a man-bashing day. This isn't beating up on employers. This is really about just making sure that the awareness is there. There's strategies that companies can do to just evaluate and so on. And I really think too that women have to take, as Jessica said, the responsibility of learning how to negotiate, how to position themselves, and taking chances and so on. There's responsibility all the way around that can improve this. And I believe that Florida is on a great trajectory because there's so many really, really successful women entrepreneurs, women in business and leadership and so on. And we just want to increase that and get us to equal on pay.
Well, thank you very much, for your service to the community and some great information. And people can learn more by emailing you yfry@yvonnefry.com.
Yes.
And also you can catch more of the recap of the show over at tampabayradio.com. If you didn't catch that, I'll have that up on my website as well. So thank you very much. I was Yvonne Fry with the Hillsborough and Florida Commissions on the Status of Women here on Working Women Wednesdays.
It's a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and bring on our second guest here for the show, Roshni Hannon. She is a 36-year-old former television news executive and most recently was the executive producer of the Emmy Award-winning and #1 rated morning show News in Tampa Bay on Fox 13. She left television because she felt a change in philosophy and priorities when it came to the media, and it was time for her to pursue other passions such as community service, writing, and video storytelling. She is currently Vice President of Communications for the Indo-U.S. Chamber and a story architect for Mad Bear Productions. Roshni, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I'm rested.
Yeah, rested very much. So you don't have to get up so much as early in the morning, right? You're not with the morning news anymore. What time did you have to get up when you're doing the news?
Oh, God. 1:30, 1:45.
1:30?
In the morning.
What time do you go to bed? 5 o'clock in the evening?
Oh, God. No, I have 2 little kids, so 7:30, but they would tuck me in.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long were you with the news organization?
Well, locally, I was with Fox for about almost 10 years, but since college, so 15, 16 years. So it was a big departure, a big leap to leave morning news, to leave news in general.
Did you study communications and journalism in college? Was that what you had planned to do with your career?
I did. I graduated from the University of Florida with a degree in journalism. So pretty much there's not a whole lot you can do with that degree but follow a career in journalism, right? So I was fortunate to land in Chicago initially and then came to Tampa and landed with a great news organization. But like I said, I think as you change and as your priorities shift, I became a mom and your views change as to what you want to accomplish. And I could not watch the morning news with my kids. And how am I going to be a part of that and do that for a living?
What was your role? Executive producer? Tell me what the executive producer role entails. What did you do each morning?
Oh, geez. I mean, I don't know that you can even explain it all. And, how much time do you have? You do a lot. It's a big job. And it's a tough job, a rewarding one. But you're in charge of 5.5 hours of insanity, gathering it, putting it together, and putting it in front of, a lot of viewers who count on you. To bring them the truth and not put it out there in a way that's hard to listen to.
What were your motivations in transitioning, outside of this career in journalism and in the news to what you're doing now? You had talked about, a change in, your lifestyle and everything. Talk to me about why you left the news business.
I think anybody that is in news now, and mind you, it's still in my blood, it's in my DNA. I really respect all those reporters, anchors that I've worked with, that I don't work with. I see what they put into it every day. But I think personally it was a shift in philosophy, which is exactly what led me down this path. I mean, come on, I left after a pretty long career. It was like jumping into ice cold water, not knowing what to do. My skill set is very one-channeled. You know, you're a guy that brings positivity to the airwaves, and that's what I wanted to do. And that led me to two avenues that I'm on now, the Indo-U.S. Chamber and Mad Bear Productions. You know, my path with Mad Bear has been very fluid. It's a storytelling company. So I've been able to take what I've learned as a journalist and really put it towards use that I feel good about. You know, in an honest way, we tell people's stories, taking all their unique qualities and putting it out there for them. I think there's so many stories that need to be told in the Tampa Bay area, and that's what I'm able to do now. And, you know, the other part of it is my culture is really what drives me. And once I left the world of news and I was able to kind of look up, I mean, wow, here's the Indo-U.S. Chamber, this unbelievable network of people, professionals, and nice. I can't stress. I mean, they're so welcoming and warm. I was able to join that chamber and became the VP of communications for them. Again, for someone with my background, that was a perfect fit. And I mean, I feel like I'm catching my stride now.
Talk to me about the Indo-U.S. Chamber. Can anybody join a membership, and what type of what ways are they involved in the community right now?
The Indo-U.S. Chamber is not inclusive. I mean, it is open to absolutely anybody. And I think people are really shocked when I tell them that membership is free. It costs you absolutely nothing.
Free, oh, that's always good.
Right? You never hear that in this day and age anymore. It is free, and you know, just such a varied group of community leaders. We have a networking event the third Wednesday of the month, and, you know, bring in amazing speakers. Our speaker this month for March was Mayor Rick Kreisman. And we feed you, you know? I mean, what more?
You feed us Indian food?
You were Indian in a past life, right?
Yes, I was Indian in a past life, correct.
So you need to come to one of our events. Yes, we feed you Indian food.
You know, it's funny because I have one of my clients actually who just mentioned your organization to me. She's an immigration attorney. Mm-hmm. Her name is Darlene Ribaud, and I just want to give a shout out because she's just amazing. And she just told me she joined your chamber, and she did say people are amazing, and it's such a great networking group.
It really is. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I have to say I'm a little embarrassed that I wasn't more involved before, because I see what they do. I mean, their mission statement is that one learns the most from those who share similar experiences. So, but what's funny about that is everyone in this group is so different and so varied, and so you're actually learning from people with different experiences. It's a phenomenal group, and, you know, I really quickly, you know, again, I want to thank Jessica for giving me a chance to come on here and share, you know, a lot of, you know, I wanted to tell a quick story, if I can,
yeah, go right
about, you know, one of the main reasons why I shifted away. This is what I should have mentioned. So, real quick story. There was a guy, you know, when I used to drive into work at 2 o'clock in the morning, I used to take, well, actually going home, I used to take Himes just to avoid all that Dale Mabry traffic, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to see a man right there at the corner of Himes and Hillsborough, and, you know, probably, what do you call them? They're just
panhandlers?
Panhandler.
Right.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So I used to see him every day. He knew me, knew my car. Anyways, a few months later, I stopped seeing him. We do a story on the air about a hit and run, and the story becomes just an empty intersection. And meanwhile, this was I felt like he was my friend, my guy, and who was he, and why was he there? And all of a sudden it hit me that the way we were telling stories wasn't okay anymore. Like, it just became kind of a 20-second flyby, a dangerous intersection story versus a story about a man who had a life and had a story to tell. And so here, you know, was again another shift in the philosophy, and that's why my work with Mad Bear has been so rewarding for me. and the work that I do with the Indo Chamber, which is actually bringing people with like-minded philosophies into the limelight. And I really, really want to stress what a great group of people this is. We have, I don't want to jump ahead of myself, but we have a huge event coming up on Friday. Our annual, we have 2 fundraisers that we do each year, the golf tournament and the Banyan Ball. So the golf tournament is at the West Chase Golf and Country Club. Unfortunately, it is all full, but obviously we're always, actively seeking sponsorship for whoever would want to help us out. And we've been so fortunate to have great sponsors behind us this year. So the golf tournament is on Friday. We're very excited about it. And then we have our Banyan Ball, which is a huge event in September later on this year.
And you also write a column, I see, in a newspaper. Talk to me about the feature that you do in this paper and what it is.
Yeah, I write a monthly column for the Kasbat newspaper, which I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the editors live here locally. They're an amazing couple that run this Indian newspaper. It's the largest newspaper distributed in Florida. It's called Kasbat. And it's, they give us a monthly section in there, a business edition, which I'm able to write for. And it's been so great for me because, again, as a journalist, when you leave the world of television, for me, it was scary, daunting. What am I going to do with this set of skills? I can't go work in the world of finance. And so I've been fortunate enough to be able to continue doing what I love with with the newspaper and with Mad Bear and with the Chamber. And with Working Women of Tampa Bay, something that Yvonne talked about quite a bit, and Jessica, what she promotes is this, just helping women rise above, not where they see themselves necessarily, but where they can be. And it's something that I have really been exploring as well as I go down the entrepreneurial path. Mm-hmm. And it's something that I feel so strongly about, that there needs to be more diversity when it comes to women at the top. And as I kind of move through this path, I'm seeing that there needs to be, not just Indian women. I mean, women in general, at all levels, on boards. That's why the Commission on the Status of Women is so vital for us right now. I think it's so important, and I mean, no one's holding us back. I think we are our own barriers. Right. So, I mean, it's so wonderful to have leaders like Yvonne and Jessica helping kind of break down our own barrier, which I think we've put there ourselves in a lot of ways.
Well, great information. Got to take a quick break. Coming back from the break, we're going to be talking a little bit more with Roshni Hannon of the Indo-U.S. Chamber and also of Mad Bear Productions, her company, here on Working Women Wednesdays, a weekly feature on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. In the market for a reverse mortgage? Contact Access Reverse, a local company with personalized service in the Bay Area. Call them at 727-347-0305 or visit accessreverse.com for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. They'll come to your home and speak with you about the best options for your reverse mortgage. Plus, they offer the lowest closing costs. Don't just get a reverse mortgage. Get the right reverse mortgage with Access Reverse. Visit accessreverse.com. NMLS number 4566. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
My neighbor. Mr. Rogers passed along friendship, hoping we would too. Friendship. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
Because of a serious crash in Zephyr Hills, 301 Gull Boulevard still shut down in both directions south of Chansey Road. You may want to think about using Morris Bridge or Paul Buckman Highway instead. And we have a serious crash in Pasco on 52 westbound near 75. A right lane is blocked. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamston, Uterwick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
Partly cloudy and warm, high 82. Mostly clear tonight, low 67. Tomorrow, a 10% rain chance, high 81.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
Welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Here on this Working Women Wednesdays feature on That Business Show. And again, you'll find this show on every weekdays at 8 a.m. And also, please learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com.
I don't have a TV. I haven't had a TV for the last 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah,
and one of the reasons for that is the news. And I found that since I haven't had a TV, it has created a kind of, it's actually a very interesting experience. It creates kinds of a freedom in your mind whereby you do not have anyone to tell you what to think, what to buy. It gives you a lot more time, and you do sleep a lot more, I found. So that's the first point. And I'm also a lot into videos. I love videos. And so I'm very interested by what you do with Matt Bear. So let me see, do you go and support people in creating videos, or it is more like you finding stories and then...
Right.
Okay.
Well, so Mad Bear's philosophy is, or the actual mantra is mad storytelling, crazy results. So essentially what we do is take a company's brand story and we tell it to you through honest visuals, through honest interactions, real stories. I mean, the best person to tell a story about a company is the person who runs that company, right? But it's also the hardest story to tell. I think if I asked you to write a bio on yourself, it's tough sometimes to write about yourself or to tell your own story, so you have someone else do it for you. So essentially, Glenn Zimmerman is the CEO of that company, and that's, his background was all news, so it was very unique for me to work with somebody who aligned with my thinking with a similar background and kind of had a departure from news for the same reasons. And that's where he came up with this concept of telling stories for companies in an honest and real way. So, for-profit, non-profit, big companies, small companies, it's, there's no discrimination there. I think we all know that the way of media is going very digital now. And so it's very important to be accessible, wherever, whether it's on the web, on your phone. And I think more and more people are realizing that. So that's why there's such a need for companies like Matt Bear.
Your business card says a unique video marketing company. So what is that unique?
It's unique because we're able to tell your stories in such a way, like I said, with honest interactions. And I think a big part of it is it connects people and it tries to cut through all the clutter that we see so much. Like you said, you don't have a TV anymore. Sometimes you feel like people might be yelling at you, might be screaming at you, or shoving information at you that you don't necessarily need.
Correct.
So that's what here and makes Mad Bear so unique in the way that we're cutting through all that white noise and just giving you the pieces that you need.
How long has Mad Bear been in operations now? How long have you been doing
I believe
this
that Glenn started the company in 2006, so it's been around quite some time. He started the company in New York and then came down here His wife is the morning meteorologist at ABC. So they came down here, for many reasons. Why not come to Tampa, right? And so, yeah, it's been around a while and doing very well.
And you mentioned to me just a moment there during the break, the speaker at one of your events recently, who's a guest coming up on my show this Friday, Dr. Raj Ambe of the Ambe Plastic Surgeon Company. Tell me a little bit more about him.
Yeah, well, he was our keynote speaker at the Banyan Ball last year, a remarkable person, and he just recently joined the Endo Chambers board. But I understand he's going to be here.
He'll be on this Friday, yes.
Yeah, I just, he was such a unique speaker. I think, you had Carrie Lorenz in here, too. I think rarely, do you go in and see a keynote speaker that really you feel like you could listen to on and on and on, who really nails it in terms of their visuals.
Were you at her event?
I was.
You were. I tried to go, was too late.
It was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. So, again, another really powerful female, right?
Yeah, the listeners that know Carrie Lorenz, the first U.S. Navy Tomcat F-14 fighter pilot. She was the keynote speaker last week. There was international
Valspar Women's Executive Day.
Executive Day was going on last week. Yeah, she was in last Tuesday. Talk with me. A great woman, very accomplished and very inspirational conversation that day.
Yeah, and again, not to change the subject, but it's hard not to when you talk about someone like her. Again, it goes, hand in hand with what I feel so strongly about in terms of, what Yvonne was saying, Jessica, and, really just raising women up to another level. And I think, that's what, Carrie fighting, flying fighter jets, my God, it's amazing. We can do all this stuff.
I joked that I took flight lessons and I didn't even pass, the first 10. I got too bogged down, and I used to get scared being up in the plane, just doing the stall training part of it, where you have to pitch the plane up and it falls out of the air. That was enough to
run. I don't do anything in the air.
I could imagine.
I'm good on the ground.
I could even imagine training in an F-14 Tomcat fighter jet. That's incredible. So
yeah.
So you're very involved in the community, with the U.S. Chamber, and I also see you were a Miss India Florida pageant PR director. Tell me about this role.
Yes. So one of the things that I did soon after I left television, I was the PR director for the Miss India Florida pageant. It was a great experience for me because I actually was Miss India Florida 100 years ago. So it was nice to actually.
I'm not surprised though.
Oh, very attractive lady. Very nice.
I got the wave.
You have a good wave.
So it was important to me to actually feel like I was able to now be on a different side of it and really help. One thing that was really important for me to remind everyone that these were not pageant girls. They were girls participating in a pageant. I mean, these are women that were pursuing careers in medicine, law, journalism.
Did you find as a pageant participant that you got a lot of negative kind of looks from people because you're the pageant girl, or did you find it being a positive thing for your career?
I thought it was positive, but I don't think at the time I knew how to leverage it towards my career. I think if I would have known what I know now, I would have springboarded it a lot better. And I think now with social media, it's a lot easier both ways, to be negative towards people who participate in these things and, bring a lot of positivity to it. And it depends on the way you use it. But it was great for me because we had about 16 girls from all over the state, come and compete. And it was really great because I felt like it really gave them a chance to own it and to feel, I hate to use the word empowerment, but it really was about that, and letting them know that it's not about, your walk or your strut. It's, hey, this is your moment to talk about your platform, what you want to do with your life, and use this as an experience. Whether or not you walk away with a crown, who cares? Mm-hmm. You get a chance to be in front of a lot of people and speak your mind, and what more can you ask for? So,
and we got about a minute left.
Yeah.
How is Working Women of Tampa Bay involved with the U.S. Chamber? I see something, you have a theme or some type of thing coming up with that?
Jessica and I went to lunch a few weeks ago, and it was so great because, again, here's somebody who shares my background, right? History and news. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up, I promise. We want to do something together. We want to get the women of the Indian community and the women from Working Women and do a great event together. And we're still coming up with a theme, so Jessica and I are stirring the pot and cooking that up.
Well, that's a great relationship right there, and great relationship, and very much thanks to what you're doing in the community, and also to Jessica Rivelli of Working Women of Tampa Bay. Real quick, Rashni, where can people get some more information on Mad Bear Productions?
MadBearProductions.com.
Mad Bear Productions. Oh, that's easy enough to remember.
It sure is. Thank you.
Thank you, Rashni. Great conversation, and thank you for everything that you're doing for the Tampa Bay community as well. So, if you're just tuning in, you've been listening to the Working Women Wednesdays feature here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. And again, you'll find this show on weekdays here at 8 a.m. on 1250 WHNZ, and learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. I hope everybody has a great day. I'll see you back in here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.